Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we'll tell you why the Hazard wastewater treatment plant is getting a major clean out. And Knott County is still working on repairs from the July 2022 floods.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. I'm Madison Carmouche. Today is December 29th, 2023. We are at 6 a.m. this morning. Just a few days away from 2024, and it seems like 2023 is just trying to remind us about winter. So let's check in with meteorologist Shane Smith for a look at your forecast this morning. Shane, what is that about?
Madison, it's old man winter reminding us that, oh yeah, it's winter and we're going to deal with a little bit of wintry weather today. Not a lot, but you can see a few snow showers starting to develop on the satellite and radar picture. Back off to our west, leading edge now moving in towards Frankfort and Danville, and it should begin moving into southern and eastern Kentucky over the next few hours. As we take a live look at pinpoint Doppler, you can see the leading edge of that precipitation back towards Danville. But for most of us in the mountains right now, we're dry. We are seeing clear conditions in Jenkins, mostly cloudy in Mount Vernon, on I-75, and mostly cloudy in Hazard. 27 your current temperature in Hazard, 31 Pikeville, 32 Prestonsburg, 30 into Jonesville, 33 London, 34 Somerset. So you'll notice several of us either already at or above freezing, and that's going to be the big player today is the temperatures. Going to be too warm for widespread accumulation. However, for the folks below freezing this morning, may need to take a second or two to get that wind chill scraped off, as there is a little bit of frost out there. We're going into the upper 30s today. That will cut back on snowfall accumulation. We'll take a look at some of what the computer models have to say about how much snow we could see coming up here in just a few minutes, Madison.
Shane, thank you. The City of Hazard wastewater plant is currently undergoing some much-needed maintenance after facing issues with a buildup of excess waste. WYMT's Olivia Calfee has more.
Hazard City Manager Tony Eversole says the wastewater plant was recently dealing with several feet of waste sludge, leading to the current situation, ongoing maintenance.
Instead of the conventional way of letting the drains in the floor separate the solids, we had to actually get equipment down in there, skid steers down in the basins, and they were loading the solids into a larger piece of equipment, and then it went to a truck.
Saying it is an expensive project, but the city is doing its part to keep the wastewater plant in optimal condition.
The cost of disposal of any kind of waste is extremely high. I mean, it's roughly $50 a ton. And when you're talking about thousands a ton, you know, it runs into a lot of money. So what we're trying to do, save money, we constructed a drying bed, temporary drying bed at the site.
He says the maintenance is expected to be finished in the next few days. And as we enter 2024, he says there are several projects he is looking forward to.
New water lines, we've got all of Lothair is going to be replaced this year. All of Christopher, we've got stuff in the works for Backwoods.
Upgrading the lines to improve the entire system. In Hazard, Olivia Calfee, WYMT Mountain News.
Eversole says no customers have reported issues with the wastewater plant, and he hopes this maintenance will keep it that way. Lawmakers are headed back to work next week in Frankfort. They will convene on Tuesday for the session. The budget expected to be the center of talks for much of the 60-day session. Governor Beshear's plans to include raises for state troopers and teachers, along with funding universal pre-K. The budget is the only bill required by law that the legislature must pass.
We'd open up several thousand slots to help working parents out there. That's how we turn good years of economic progress into decades of prosperity, by making sure that no child falls through the cracks, that we have the very best educators there in the classroom.
The session begins next Tuesday. Governor Beshear will give his State of the Commonwealth address Wednesday, and the last day of the session is in April. But this year, when it comes to new bills, we won't get an early look at any that will be up for debate. Under a new law, pre-filed bills and drafts will not be posted online. The only way to see the bills before the session starts is for lawmakers to share them themselves. House Speaker David Osborne sponsored the bill that changed the process. Osborne told the Kentucky Lantern the old way led to distractions. Some groups criticized the move as an attack on transparency. It became law without Governor Beshear's signature. Flood recovery continues in Knott County. Officials recently made a purchase through local government economic development funding. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox tells us how the purchase will help the county's operations.
County officials decided to save LGEDF funds in preparation for bigger projects. That funding increased as coal severance dollars increased as well.
The Department for Local Government, they will get this fund and these coal severance dollars that goes to the counties, and they will keep a percentage back for you. It's like a savings account.
The funding came at a crucial time after the July 2022 flood. Officials with the fiscal court announced they purchased a building next to the courthouse for $200,000.
Jailer's office don't really have a specific office that they're working out of, the animal control. So we thought it'd be a great idea to purchase this building next door to fix some offices back in there.
Several officials had to move into the courthouse after the flood destroyed their offices. Dobson says communication was a pro, but there were also some cons with everyone being crammed in.
When you have all this FEMA paperwork and this NRCS paperwork that you're trying to keep up with and your daily logs, it's not really a good practice to have 5 or 6 people in one big room.
Dobson says the flood was able to reach the bottom floor of the building, which you can see through the door, but the top floor was untouched.
You know, once we get everything back in order in the bottom part of that building, there's actually some business opportunities there.
The judge executive says anyone that would like to put in a business can contact his office. In Hyman, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Yesterday in Perry County, internet and phone services were restored after being out all day. Police say they responded to a call near exit 56 just outside of Hazard Thursday morning, where they say a wire appeared to have been intentionally cut. This caused headaches for people and businesses across the county. Police say they do not have a lead on the suspect, but they are investigating. Officers are asking anybody that may have information to call them or message them via Facebook. A Williamson, West Virginia man is behind bars after he reportedly asked 2 minors to have sex with him. Last week, KSP troopers received a call about the incident near the Food City in South Williamson, Kentucky. They say 60-year-old John Smith asked the 2 minors to perform sexual acts on him. He faces multiple charges, including unlawful transaction with a minor. Smith was taken to the Pike County Detention Center. In Pulaski County, Sheriff Bobby Jones reports that his office has received reports of bank fraud. Jones said customers had reportedly received text messages or phone calls from individuals or a group of people acting like representatives of the customer's bank. The group is reportedly asking for the individual's account number and passwords to verify account information. Jones says to be cautious when sharing bank information. Crews responded to a fire Wednesday in Laurel County. The fire came from the roof of a 3-story building. Firefighters worked for several hours to put out the fire. Officials say no one was in the building at the time. If you are looking for a fruit fusion or a stacked sandwich to hit the spot, a new shop in Pike County is hoping to help. WYMT's Buddy Forbes shares how 2 business partners are merging ideas to offer something fresh to folks in the area.
A partnership that started with a baseball equipment company has moved into the concession stand.
Yeah, well, it hit a home run.
John Bevins and Karen Caldwell recently opened their new venture in Coal Run.
Hey,
bringing some fresh takes on a couple of lunch favorites.
She wanted to do tasty teas, and I wanted to do a sandwich shop. So we kind of, went backwards and forth, quick
Fighting
ideas.
every day about a name.
And
Tasty Teas Sandwich Shop was born, bringing boba straws and big sandwiches to the mountain menu.
this town needed a fresh place to come get sandwiches, come get real fruit teas.
With unique fresh fruit teas created by Karen.
They are kind of like the sugar, like a
And
honey.
a list of soups and sandwiches that has brought in business from all around since opening day.
Because it comes from my love. It is true. When you love people, your food will be taste different.
The partners say they owe any success to the snackers who stop in.
You know, that's how we build up. You know, it's really not, if not have them, I don't think we can success. So it's very thankful our customer, they really help us.
And they hope more people will drop by for a taste of tasty teas. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Bevan says one crowd favorite has been the chicken salad sub, and the teas are one of a kind, with the recipes all coming from Karen's imagination.
6:11, time for another check of the weather, and we are dry right now across southern and eastern Kentucky. You can see outside the WYMT studio. We have mostly cloudy skies, a little fog setting up, 27 degrees outside of Hazard, 28 over at UVA Wise under mostly cloudy skies. And as we head on over to Pikeville, 31 right now with dry conditions. Satellite and radar showing that the snow is just off to our west and is continuing to dive down to the south and the east. As we go to pinpoint Doppler, you can see the leading edge of that is back over towards Danville, and it is pushing to the south and the east. It should arrive in the mountains after about 8, 9 o'clock this morning. Temperatures at or above freezing for some of us, though. 36 Monticello, 34 into Somerset, 32 Williamsburg and Richmond, Prestonsburg and Logan. So a lot of this snow will not stick. Here's a quick look at that future view snow forecast showing that for most of us, we're talking not even a coating when you factor in melting, although some of the higher elevations may see a little more. But this is not the only chance of snow in the forecast. We'll talk about a couple more chances coming up here in just a few minutes, Madison.
Thank you, Shane, and thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, there is some turmoil in the GOP presidential race as another state kicks former President Trump off the ballot and Nikki Haley goes on the defense.